TJ316. As soon as the challenge giveth, the challenge can taketh away. Welcome to the club. Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that will wink to you on the bus and tell you you'll be alright. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge, Season 36, Episode 6 of Double Agents. And in this episode, we learn that Kyle's favorite Disney movie is Peter Pan. We have Fessy still trying to get that kiss from Gabby. And we also learn that 3 energy-packed proteins are better than 1. Ooh, that product placement. But let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Aneesa going against her best friend Tori in the elimination, winning and getting her gold skull and taking back Fessy. That should be a band name. And then we come back to the challenge house and Devin is all excited to be the rogue agent. He's excited to get his partner who had so much heat on her out of his way, out of being tethered to him. And then Aneesa is still feeling sad about her best friend leaving and her sending her home. And Theresa is consoling her, but Theresa has some information that she did not tell Aneesa before heading into that elimination. And that was that Theresa knew that Aneesa was going to be going into that elimination, and Nani uses this to enlighten Cam and Lolo about what kind of player or how Theresa plays the game. That's when Lolo decides to have a conversation with Theresa one-on-one in the kitchen early morning, and things get a little tense. Now, this is going to be a reoccurring theme with Lolo throughout this whole episode. Not only with Theresa did things get intense, but with her own partner in the daily challenge, outside of the daily challenge. My goodness. But now let's move over to Leo, who is just not mentally there within the challenge game. He's talking about how waking up in the morning and waking up with a whole bunch of strangers, he's feeling like back when he was a teenager in the group home. And he is just, it's a trigger for him. He hates feeling that way. And then he's also thinking a lot about his pregnant wife and kids at home, where there's a lot going on. Now, we have to remember that in the context of how this challenge was filmed, this was filmed during the pandemic. And in the aftermath post-show, Leo said that him and his family moved to California recently before him coming onto the challenge. So with everything that's going on, with having a pregnant wife at home with 2 small children in California during a pandemic, there's a lot going on in his mind, and he decides that it's just too much to handle at this moment and that he is packing up and he is going to be heading out. Now, I know a lot of people hate quitters on the challenge, especially TJ, but I think this is something completely different. This isn't quitting. This is something that you have to take care of yourself. This is a totally different thing than somebody saying that they missed their girlfriend of 2 months. He's doing it for the better of his family, and he wants to be there for his family. So I totally get it. It's totally respectable. And TJ even mentions this at the daily challenge. Now, at the daily challenge, that's when Gabby doesn't have a partner now. Devin doesn't have a partner. Well, guess what? Now, they're going to be partners together, and everybody is going to be taking part in this daily challenge called Smuggle Run. Now, this is a sponsored challenge, kind of like last season with the Burger King, but this time it's P3 protein, which is kind of like an adult Lunchable. But there's money on the line where the winning pair in this 5-mile log race with multiple checkpoints, whoever comes in first will get not only all the power to be the double agents to send somebody into the elimination or send themselves into the elimination, but they will also get a special prize, but they will also get $3,000 each. That's so much incentive to try and get first place in what people are calling a mini final, which I'm so excited that this is happening right now. I think this is the type of challenge that is going to kick people into gear. They're going to be looking at this going like, they're going to be sizing up people on who maybe they want to run with in the finals, who could have the stamina, the strength, the power to get through a final. And I think this also has people thinking, okay, do I want to go up against somebody in elimination? I want to go up against this person because they didn't do so well. Or maybe I want to run the final with this person, and so I want to send myself in so I can be partnered up with them. I think there's so much layers to this daily challenge than just trying to win it and try to get a power for this episode alone. So everybody grabs their capsules and they are heading off. Now, everybody's in like their little groups and they're just like taking off. Everyone's just bolting out of the starting line except for CT and Big T, where CT is now frustrated with Big T. I think all the love from last episode and last daily challenge was soon over. And then we have Jay and Theresa kind of like falling back a little bit, and so is Gabby and Devin. Darrell and Amber look very good. Nany and Ashley are feeling themselves in this daily challenge. And then when we get to a more solid ground, that's when Jay and Theresa are like, okay, everyone is slowing down. Let's start punching it up. Let's take it to another gear, which they do. And they start passing a whole bunch of teams right before we get to the first checkpoint. Also, Lolo and Nam are at each other's throats, and they're pretty much at each other's throats from the very beginning of this race to the very end. Like, I mean to the very end. Like, once they even cross the finish line, they're still arguing with each other. It is not a good look. They are not looking like a very strong team, as a unified team, I should say. They look physically strong, but as a unit, they do not look strong. They come in a pretty disappointing place. I thought they would be strong, they would have all the stamina, they would be up at the top, but they are just pedaling within the middle. But let's move on to the first checkpoint where they have to use the capsules to get over the wall. Kyle and Cam are the first ones to get over the wall and grab their capsules and head out. Corey and Ashley are soon behind them. And then we check back to the back of the pack, and now Aneesa and Fessy are at the way back. But now let's move on to checkpoint 2, where it is a puzzle. And what you have to do is that you have puzzle pieces with numbers on them. You have to get all the rows to add up to 38. And let me tell you, just as fast as Ashley and Corey get to this puzzle, soon that they are out of there because they have already solved it. Ashley talks about having math apps, which Jenny mentioned last challenge, and she did really, really well in those finals. I think people need to be getting these math books, maybe getting these math apps, because they're really, really helping people in daily challenges and in finals. Well, Corey and Ashley are out first. Jay and Theresa are soon behind them, and you would think that Corey and Ashley would have a bit of a lead. However, they go the wrong way. Jay and Theresa take over first place, and now Corey and Ashley are having to make up some time. Everyone else on this puzzle times out. They did that 15-minute timeout. Everyone is timing out on this thing except for Fessy and Aneesa, but they get there so late that once they finally finish it, they're still in the back of the pack. Now, everyone else is a couple of minutes behind Jay and Theresa and Corey and Ashley, but there's seconds separating these two duos, and they are having now to book it. And Jay and Theresa lock this up. It's interesting because Jay and Theresa got second place in the last daily challenge. Now they're coming in first on this real big like testament to stamina, strength, mental prowess with the puzzle. I mean, they did great, and even teamwork as they worked well together. They just showed that they were a very, very strong duo in this mini final, and they take first place, and Corey and Ashley come in second. Everybody else starts trickling in, but Jay and Theresa, they get the now $6,000 each because they decided to bump up that money, but they also get to be double agents, hold all the power, and they get like massage guns or like muscle neat drills. I don't know what they're called, but they get those things. I've seen them everywhere. Now, back at the challenge house, Ashley becomes what she declares Paranoid Pam when she feels as though that there's something off with Theresa. Lolo and Nam talk to their doctor Big T to try to get some like couple counseling, but nothing gets solved in this episode. And then at the party, Nany believes that she is going to be the house vote, that Theresa is going to be going around the house trying to get Nany to be the house vote so that Theresa can send herself in against Nany because of their past history. And then we have Jay having a pep talk with Kyle saying, hey, don't worry about it. I'm not going to send you in. If I'm going to send you in, you'll get a heads up at least. This is the editors telling, hey, there's foreshadowing happening right here. The next day, Theresa is running around the house telling everybody to vote in Ashley. She wants Ashley to be the house vote, and then she's trying to keep it from Ashley. But once we get to the Deliberation, the cat's out of the bag. Leroy's like, look, I know what Theresa and Jay want, but I'm not voting in Ashley. And Ashley is pushing for Amber, M, and Michi. And that's when we get to the voting ceremony, which is like all over the place. There's people burn voting on Gabby and Devin. There's people voting for Amber, M, and Michi. Other people are voting in for Ashley and Corey. These votes are all over the place. By the time we get to the chamber with Jay and Theresa, we're having to wait to see who the compromised agents are, and it is revealed that the compromised agents are none other than Corey and Ashley, which gets like Theresa giddy with like power. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it worked. I wish we could like send in multiple people, because she wants to send in Nany and Josh, but also is thinking about putting in Cam and Kyle. And there's so many things going through her head what she wants to do. Well, she's trying to now save her bases. Once done in the deliberation with Jay, now she's trying to cover her bases by going up to Cam and being like, hey, I know you want a headbanger of an elimination, but I also know that I don't want to go against you in an elimination. What if like you want it, I'll send you in and we're all good with each other? And Cam's like, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but just send me in if I want it. Don't just send me in just to send me in and kind of blindside me. And Theresa's like, yeah, there's foreshadowing going to be happening. Now the green light goes off and everyone heads to the elimination, where there's this like big old contraption with like a podium with a whole bunch of poles with like hooks in there. We have no idea what to expect in this elimination, but TJ is standing there. He reveals that the compromised agents are Corey and Ashley, and Corey and Ashley are flabbergasted at this point. They're sitting there going like, oh my gosh, every single person lied to us. Like, I don't know if people were like, hey, I mean, there was only like about 9 votes that became the majority. It was Gabby, Devin, CT, Nam, Lolo, Michi, Big T, Amber M, and Casey who voted for Ashley and Corey, and that was enough to get them into the compromised agent portion, but they are feeling like they can't trust anybody. They hate this, they feel blindsided, and speaking of blindsided, that's when Theresa and Jay go, no, we do not want to volunteer ourselves in, and we're gonna vote in Cam and Kyle, which, again, super shocked to Cam and Kyle and Corey and Ashley, and really the whole house. They are flabbergasted, they are blindsided, but they are going to be going up against Corey and Ashley in this elimination, and I thought this was rather entertaining when TJ made it sound like that it was a men's elimination, and Jay is like freaking out. Theresa is trying to keep calm and collected. Ashley throws up the birds, showing what she thinks. TJ pumps the brakes and does like a 180 and is like, oh, by the way, it is a women's elimination. So it is going to be Cam versus Ashley in this elimination called Dead Ringer, which in this elimination, you're going to be hooked up to a harness and you're going to have to use your momentum. You're not going to be able to like firmly stand on this podium, but you're gonna have to try to kick and use your momentum to get these rings off and then onto a pole. Once you get all 6 of your rings on your poles, you win this elimination, you stay in this game, you get a gold skull, and your opponent is out of this game, possibly for the 2nd time of the season. And they are off. Now it takes a little bit to get going and get into rhythm in this elimination. Now Cam gets the hang of this thing rather quickly compared to Ashley. Now Lolo and Michi are doing their best, like similes and metaphors, saying that Ashley looks like a kite, Ashley looks like a bird with only 1 wing. Cam is over there looking like Michael Jordan in a dunk contest, and she has about 5 of them when Ashley finally gets 3. Now I feel like this is a tough elimination, but Cam is making this thing look easy, especially when she gets that 6th ring on her hook and she wins this elimination, getting her gold skull, and now she is sitting there having to make a tough decision on who she wants to be partnered up with now. Does she want to stay with Kyle? Does she want to go with Corey, who is having some troubles with partners this season? Or does she want to pick anybody else except for Jay, because Jay is off limits? Ashley is heading off for the 2nd time this season, but she says she will be back and she is ready for revenge. And now Cam is sitting there and she decides that she is gonna stay with Kyle, and Kyle couldn't be happier. Everyone's excited and Corey is now the rogue agent. I really loved this daily challenge in this episode. I really liked this elimination. I thought it was fun to watch, and it was actually fun and different. Like, it was kind of like a puzzle, but not strictly a puzzle, and it wasn't a headbanger. I thought this was a really fun episode in general. I think this is going to be the episode that is going to be so pivotal and is a pinnacle episode in this season. I think it's going to be very significant on how the players are going to play the rest of this season, and I'm so happy for Cam to get her gold skull. I'm actually happy that she stayed with Kyle in this scenario. They both have their gold skulls. They both did really well in this daily challenge as Cam and Kyle got third place. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention that I thought it was really funny that when Cam was making her decision, we got a whole bunch of confessionals where CT, Darrell, and Devin, and everybody was like, Cam, pick me, please. I want to be your partner. Let's be partners. Let's run this thing out. I just thought that was really, really funny. But I thought this was a spectacular episode. I think this season is going to be jamming from here on out. I think there was a lot of foreshadowing happening in the end of this episode, in the final moments of this episode, especially with Leroy up there yelling at Jay and Theresa, saying that they made a big mistake, and then Cam having the confessional saying that, okay, Jay, I think you got a little wrapped up with Theresa's game, and now, next guy's time, we're coming after you. I think that's a huge foreshadowing by the editors, but we're gonna have to wait and see what's going to happen. But that is it for this episode. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about the daily challenge? What'd you think about the elimination? What do you think about Theresa's strategy about putting Cam versus Ashley? Will she regret this later on in this game? Let me know anything and everything you feel about this episode down in the comment section. I was super happy with this episode, but what'd you think about it? Let me know that in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge 36 Double Agent content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.